In this video, we're going to be making insulated soles for winter boots, and everything we need is right in front of us here. So obviously you need your boot. We're going to take the sole out and use that to trace onto insulation. Reflectix is a common one that's used, but this is actually a different brand. When I went to the hardware store, they didn't have any Reflectix, so I picked this up. This one's from Everbuilt. Looks like it's pretty much the same thing. You can see it's got the same kind of bubbles on there. And then we're going to use a pen to trace out the sole, and then we'll use that to cut it. All right, so I've laid out the sole on the surface here, and now we're just going to trace around it. I'm gonna try and trace in on a little bit of an angle because we're gonna want this to probably be a little bit smaller than the actual sole. All right, once you've got it traced out, we will cut it out. All right, so I've gone ahead and cut it out. You can see I stayed on the inside of the line, so the lines are still down here. Goal was to make it a little bit smaller than the sole. And that's roughly what it should look like once it's cut out. All right, now we gotta put it inside the boot. So first it's helpful if you just loosen the boot up. You can see I pulled out the shoelaces here, and then we'll just put them in one at a time. So we'll put the reflective insulation below the regular sole. So you can push it in, and if it fits in and lays flat, you probably don't need to trim it. If it's bundling against the edges, you may need to take it out and trim it. In my case here, it's fine. It's rolling up the side there, but that's normal. So I don't think I need to take any steps to trim it. Once that's done, you put the other side of the sole in, or the other sole in. All right, and once you're done, it'll just look like the shoe before. You should barely be able to tell that there was another layer of insulation below that. All right, our last step here is just lace them up, try them on. Your feet shouldn't be getting tight. On these boots at least, probably the narrowest part is here, but I still got wiggle room. I can move my toes. I even got some space here. I don't have, right now when I'm trying it on, all of the sock layers I might wear when I'm out in the cold. But as I sit right now, this feels pretty good to me. Just make sure you have some wiggle room in there. Make sure your toes can move. Make sure that additional space at the bottom is not making it tight, and you should have an additional layer of insulation in there. Once you've done that on one foot, repeat from the top and the other one, and you've got insulation added to the bottom of your boots.